Hola, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Reliable Trades podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, and I'm an HVAC business owner here in South Texas. I do, a little bit of content creation and things of that nature online. On this podcast, we interview a lot of tradespeople from many different trades, business owners, people in manufacturing, people in software companies, new technicians, older technicians, people that start at 18, 16 even, and people that start in their 40s and 50s. So plenty of good conversations to be had with good people and a lot of good stories that maybe you would relate to. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcast, any other location, please leave us a review. We hope to earn those 5 stars, and I really have fun doing this podcast. I appreciate everybody that watches or listens and makes this what it is. And don't forget to check out HVAC Nights every Thursday night. Me and Jake host a live podcast weekly, and you can also check out merch from my store, the HVAC Nights, the nightwear, any of that at reliablehvacr.net. I also want to thank our sponsors that help keep this thing going. Jobber is our favorite CRM. I've tried different ones until finding Jobber that kind of controls the chaos that it is running a business and still being in the field and trying to get all the billing, quoting, submitting everything that you need to do outside of the field. And with Jobber, we do our maintenance contracts, we do our invoicing, our quoting, following up with customers to get reviews. That has helped our business a lot. And it offers website building and a whole bunch of AI features now baked in, and you can also do add-ons if you have any other software that you want, because they do work with a lot of marketing tools and things, AI receptionists and things like that. So check out Jobber for yourself, see if it helps your business. You get a 2-week free trial and a special discount if you use the link down below. Vito Pro Pack is also a supporter, and I can tell you right now, even though I see a bunch of competitors coming into the field, they are still hands down the best tool bags that you can buy. They are an investment, I understand that, but once you try one, like I did back during COVID, you won't want to use any other tool bag. And the thing is, they have so many products now that you can find the one that is perfect for you. So make sure to check out Vito Pro Pack at your supply house or go to vitopropack.com. True Tech Tools has a lot of their stuff as well. Go check out their website to make sure that you can find the perfect bag for yourself. You won't regret it. Diversitech is probably in a lot of y'all's vans. I have almost something from all of those brands in my van ever since we've started. Packard is a big one for us as far as parts. They usually have something that we would need on a day-to-day basis. They are your one-stop shop for everything HVAC, and they have you covered for your everyday HVAC needs. And today's video is also brought to you by Resideo. Elite Pro is built for pros and powered by Pro IQ services. The new Honeywell Home Elite Pro thermostat is more than just a thermostat. It's a growth engine for your business. The sleek range of smart thermostats help you deliver next level comfort and convenience while standing out in every home. For more information, please visit resideo.com/proiq. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Adrian Garcia. I'm an HVAC contractor in Texas. I run an HVAC business, and here I have with me Riley, who is a product manager. You're specifically in a certain area, right, for product management?
Yeah, so I'm a product manager for the plumbing and the HVAC team, and I cover gas utility as well.
Which is awesome to hear. I've been walking around the, the pipeline, the event, the demos, all that kind of stuff. And I was just telling you, I immediately went over to the recovery machine, and you were telling me that that's something that you guys have been working on, you personally, right?
Yeah.
How long does something like that take to get into, well, one, through development, and then also get to market? Because I'll be honest with you, I expected an HVAC specific brand to be doing that already or have something coming out. And who is it that comes out first with it? It's Milwaukee. So it's a battery powered recovery. Again, like, how long does that take? How long have you guys been working on that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think you kind of have the same sentiment as a lot of other HVAC techs. It's kind of
We're
surprising.
we're impatient.
Yeah, well, I think it's surprising too that we're the first ones to come out with
Yeah,
a fully cordless recovery machine. But to go back a little bit, I mean, any of our projects, they can take 9 months, a year. They can take 3 years. I think in particular case, it's somewhere around 2 years that we've been working on that. And a lot of that is kind of driven from user research. So
sure.
we initially had the vacuum pump that came out, and that was cordless as well. Some other brands have been doing that, but we just saw the need to kind of make that whole service call cordless, right? Because one of the main kind of complaints that we had was, hey, this is awesome. My vac pump is now cordless, but I still have to find outlets and all
So
that stuff.
I've been doing this almost 20 years. So I've been through the different stages of technology and how we do things and countless changes across the industry, the HVAC industry. So where I remember having to run 50, 100 feet of an extension cord, and something that I have to also take into consideration because, and I get that pushback a lot too. Like, why are you going to buy a whole new battery powered vacuum pump just because it's cordless, or now the recovery machine? Like, you already have that equipment. It's not just convenience. I mean, I feel like cordless, especially what you guys are doing here with the power behind it and just taking the tour also on this trip, kind of gave me an insight as to all the development that goes into it, right? It's not just like, here's an idea, let's put a M18 on it or something like that, right? Like you got to make it and research and develop it and all that, that comes with it. So for me, I think cordless is almost the new standard as far as like everything on your truck has to be powerful, but if it can be cordless, that is a big win for us, out in the field. Because my answer to that is always, I'm gonna buy cordless if it's available, like if it works. So that vacuum pump you mentioned, somebody else already had it. There's other companies that have it, but they were limited to 2 CFM. So a lot of them were 2 CFM pumps, which I've used. I work on a lot of smaller equipment, refrigeration equipment, and it's fine for that. But once you get to bigger, AC units, you're doing several a day. Most times you have 1 or 2 batteries for that, specific brand. Whereas a Milwaukee branded tool, there's convenience again with, you have a whole truck full of, I can't tell you how many batteries I have on the truck, right? So if one dies, I just take the next one, right? Or I recharge them on the truck. I hate to have different brands of batteries on the truck. So
Yep.
to me, it's becoming the new standard, to where you guys didn't obviously just copy and paste something else. You guys made a bigger pump for one. I
Yep.
mean, after you guys did it, I feel like others started doing the bigger pumps, battery powered. So you guys came pretty quick with the bigger pump and kind of outdid what was already on the market. Recovery machine, again, nobody else is doing it. To me, why is Milwaukee the first one to do it? Like,
Yeah.
it's the feedback. I assume it's everybody
Totally.
asking for it,
Yeah.
and they see the vacuum pump and I think you mentioned this. They see the vacuum pump, and it's like, I still need to run the cord for the recovery, right? So now you guys offer a solution for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's totally driven by those field conversations. Like, we go out, that's a big portion of my job, is really going out with users and understanding the pain points. And we received so much great feedback. But again, there was always that looming portion of the service call where they're like, hey, we were in the Carolinas. They have AC units up on stilts, they have
Oh
them
yeah.
all over the place. And so it's, in some places they do have outlets nearby, but in a lot of places they don't.
No, I can tell you
And
from first
yeah,
hand experience, every AC that I come across, because I do commercial, so I'm on
sure.
restaurants, hospitals, that kind of work. Every AC unit should have a working outlet by default, right? By
Yes.
code in most places. Do they work? 9 out of 10 times they don't. So I still got to find some sort of outlet in the building, around the building, or somewhere that's not on the rooftop. And like I said earlier, that's 100 feet of extension cord, or finding some sort of way. I think right now The other solution we're seeing is power stations, which, I mean, it's not on, maybe it is a little bit on topic of today, is you guys have a lot of power station solutions too. So, I mean, there's
Sure.
different ways to run your equipment, but what's the most convenient? It's battery powered. So
Yep.
what I was trying to get to earlier is I have technicians now. So I run a business, like I said, in Texas, and my first thing is always safety. And I know you guys harp on that in everything that you guys do here and in everything you guys develop. But I tell my guys, if you're gonna run an extension cord, please make sure it is out of the way. I don't want a trip hazard. I
Yep.
don't want to employ at that restaurant or whatever location we're at to trip, fall, have an accident, and then I'm the owner. I gotta deal with that liability.
Yeah.
So if I can, and I have, outfitted my guys with either Milwaukee branded stuff or anything that has that solution where it's cordless, because I feel like that is going to be the new industry standard going forward, is, cutting the cord. It's not just a cable
Yeah.
saying now, it's like with tools, you got to cut the cord.
Absolutely. No, and you talk about a good variety of environments. You know, you have rooftops, you have all sorts of different regulations. We hear about sometimes in mechanical spaces like GFCI requirements and stuff like that, and they can be really challenging for users. And I think, going back to one of your questions earlier about, why did Milwaukee do this and why aren't we seeing this from others, is we've spent so much time and energy on our battery technology, right? Like you said, there are some other battery solutions out there, but they don't have their own proprietary batteries, or it's not proliferated in the same way. And I think we've spent so much time and energy on that it opens the door to new to world solutions, like the recovery machine, but a lot of the other stuff that you see here today.
And that's a big thing. Like I said, I don't like having different batteries. So, I mean, that's always going to be a convenient thing, is Milwaukee can now make almost everything. I feel like they've been real innovative in the past few years, and I got excited that there is sort of an HVAC division now here in the Milwaukee lineup, right? So, I mean, you guys have had hand tools, right? The shears, we do a little bit of plumbing, so like some of the plumbing tools kind of bleed over into the HVAC space, and now we have dedicated HVAC tools. So I'm excited for that. I also saw the press tools, right?
Yeah.
So pressing is another big thing that is more common and more welcome, I would say, the past couple of years, because there's always pushback on stuff like that. So personally, I have pressed. I've used press tools. I think they hold up. I've had some that are in the field several years. No leaks, anything like that. So you guys are also taking that a step further as well, because I walked through the floor, and you guys have offered press tools for plumbing and HVAC,
Yeah.
and you guys are adding some, I would say, some little incremental advantages now, or upgrades to the press tool, because you have that one that
The
you can
pivoting
swivel
rings.
and pivot into certain spots.
Yeah.
And I've kind of seen that with the bigger piping. I think it's the same concept there. Is like, you obviously can't make a jaw that's like that big, right? So they have that one little point
Yep.
where they can clamp a bigger pipe. And I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. And now to see it translate into, well, you can do that with a smaller piece of pipe, and then you can be backed out a little bit more. So again, Milwaukee, that's the first time I've seen it. So a lot of innovation, and that press tool is great. Again, don't have to get another battery. Just get
Yep.
one off your truck. I've been big into press, so it's good to see. And I know that press tool can be compatible with different brands. So there's not really a big concern there, but I know the one here was a Streamline,
Correct.
right? That's
Yep.
the one that you guys are kind of pushing the boundaries with that pivot feature now.
Yeah, yeah. So no, it's a great point. I mean, it's something new that we're seeing in the industry. And manufacturers of equipment are making it more friendly to press as well. As we're kind of coming out with some of the new regulations and new equipment this year. But those pivoting rings have really opened the door. It was something that we saw a huge need for in the plumbing world.
Yeah.
Like you said, plumbing is, it's proliferated a lot more. Press has in that world, and the pivoting is just something that is huge. And so we came out with those ACR jaws a couple of years ago now, and we have seen some adoption and people starting to get really excited about that. But we saw the same challenge, right? You guys are working in tight spaces. You're working in just not always the best environments, and then you have things also like VRF controllers and some of the larger industrial equipment that require a ton of connections. So to sit there and braze all of those, it's a huge time consuming task. And then also you're in a really tight environment. So and like you mentioned, we're really excited about HVAC. I mean, we're kind of year over year looking at all the opportunities we can and trying to push the boundaries using existing tools like press and just adding on, and then things like the vac pump and the recovery machine.
And that's, I mean, there's always a new way to do things. So technology, I brought up earlier, I've been through it because I've been in it almost 20 years. So I have, quite a bit of experience now, from starting with everything manual, everything by hand. Even the trade school I went to, they were pretty persistent, but back then the old school was a different way of doing things, because old school back then was like these, what you would consider like antiques now, like the way we charge, the way we do our duct and stuff like that. Like you don't really see that anymore, even on the hand tool side of things. But when I was in trade school, they always wanted us to do everything by hand. And they're like, of course, there's always a better way to do things, but if you can learn it by hand, you'll have a better understanding. So I went through that. I don't miss it. I'll be honest. I don't miss doing anything the hard way. So my whole thing is as the years go by, even getting older, because that's always a factor too, is my knees, my back, crawling into these weird spaces, getting on these rooftops, up and down ladders. There's countless factors in any trade. I mean, this is for every single, plumber, electrician, mechanical, HVAC, like any trade out there. Like those are harsh environments, which another point is you guys test somehow these tools through the roughest, rigorous tests that you can, just to make sure that they produce in the field. But my whole thing is, because people ask me, why do I buy these battery powered tools when I already had something that worked from before, right? Something old.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, I know I'm paying for convenience, but I'm also paying for less labor intensive, activity on my body. So that's why I'm saying, I think these kinds of tools and these kinds of innovations are going to be the standard, but they should be the standard, and they should be accepted by more and more people, which they are. It's just been there's people you have to convince a lot of times, right? So my whole thing is, if it can make my job easier and safer, because there's that factor in it too, then I'm all for it. So the reason I get excited is because, again, I've done, like, I know we run tons and tons of extension cords, but I've done some shady ways of getting, electrical power to my equipment. I'm not proud of all that stuff that I have to do, but when you're in the field, you got to fix it now. You got to get that customer going, get that equipment running, whatever it is. So before any battery power tools were a thing, there was a lot of hard ways to do things, and convenience, ease of use, easier on your body. Those are all things that technicians in the field should be taking into consideration. And that's a big factor. I mean, I don't want to be beat up and not be able to move when I'm, 10 years older. I want to do it the easy, or do it the safer way. And I want my employees to be that way too. I want them to be safer and do it more conveniently.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, you've heard it a lot today. You've seen it with a lot of the different products, not outside of even just the HVAC world, but, productivity and safety, right? Those are the things that we hit on a lot, but I think you make a good point of longevity is a big part of that too, right? Staying in the trade. If you can stay productive and stay safe, that's just going to lead to a longer career. and that's what we want, right? We need people in the trades. Obviously, I'm sure you feel that in the HVAC world, there's probably not quite as many people as you need to do all the work. And so the longer, we can enable people to work and do what they love, I think the better. And that's what these solutions are about, being productive, being safe, and giving people that ability.
Yeah, and I'll touch on, the tight spaces. So a lot of the
Yeah.
guys that do HVAC, you're in an attic, you're on a rooftop, you're under a crawl space. And one of the main reasons for pressing is you don't want to take that big torch set, which is incredibly heavy. I don't care what anybody says, it is heavy. And if
Oh,
you
yeah.
run out of gas, you got to go exchange it out. That's always a pain. So I understand when people are like, that a certain way has worked for 20 years, whatever, that
Right.
they've done it. But why not do it easier with some of the tools that are out now? So my pushback is always like it helps me out. I don't want to be doing the old school way of doing things in a tight space. I don't want something to catch on fire. I don't want something to hurt me in the
Yeah.
end. So that's kind of my pushback on the press tool.
Yep.
Not only that, whether anybody likes it or not, uh, your place of business where you work at, like that restaurant, that hospital, for us, they have safety protocols put into place for themselves, right? If you're using an open flame, a torch set, there's insurance that goes behind that. There's a fire watch that goes into that. There's different aspects of it. It's not just you, the technician, unless you're doing things on your own and going rogue and doing
Yeah.
things that you shouldn't.
Right.
But there's things in place. So there's all those little factors that you have to put into play. And I think today's world is very different from the world that we had 20 years ago, where old school was the only way, and
Yep.
now you have options. I think that's another big thing. Is I like to tell anybody that I talk to is you have options. You have the ability to choose a battery powered vacuum pump, a battery powered recovery machine, whether it's the cost or the convenience, whatever, however you want to look at it, it's still your choice.
Right.
So by all means, if you want to do things the old school way, go ahead and do it. I would just pay for the upgrade, and I like my guys to have that upgrade too. So I usually pass it down to all of my guys. They have battery powered vacuum pumps.
Yeah.
They have all the needs. I'm about to get them a press tool as well. Like, we're getting everything in line so that it's not just about me, it's about my employees and my company as a whole.
100%. And we see that. I think that's where we do a good job of like partnering too with a lot of the apprentices and trade orgs to help do what you're doing within your own business. Because I mean, you are driving that change within your own business. Giving these guys these skills, but then giving them the opportunity to use tools that are going to increase their productivity, that are going to keep them safer. And I think that like you said, I've met a lot of guys out there doing research. They're old school guys. They're a little bit resistant to change, and I get it, right? Because they've done something and it's worked for them. But I would say most of the time when we can get them to start pressing and they see the benefits there, they get really excited about it. Because they realize that as a business owner too,
Yeah.
they can get more work done. They can have their techs doing more work. And like you said, it's just less manpower. You don't have to have fire watch. You don't have to have hot work permits. You're
Yes.
not filling up tanks and driving around with them. And like you said, they're heavy. We had one on demo last time we were showing that
Oh,
tool.
okay.
And I was just like, man, this is terrible.
It
Lugging
sucks,
this
like
around.
to move that around, to carry it around.
Yeah,
Now, in my younger days, like if I was 20 years old when I started,
sure.
yeah, I did everything. I lifted all the heavy stuff. I did all that, and maybe at the time I felt good about it, but now I don't feel good about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I was even that guy that never had a power drill. Like when my first couple of years, I didn't have a drill. I was there with, if it had 20 to 50 screws, I was doing
Yeah.
20 to 50 by hand with a nut driver. So
Yeah.
the mindset is different as well, but like my body and myself, like I was just younger.
Right.
Like you don't want to do that when you're older. Like I will fully admit at my age, right, in my late 30s, I don't want to do all the heavy lifting. I don't want to. I try to show up my brother one time by lifting something, and I'm like, it's not that heavy. My back was out for a week. I couldn't move at all. So
Yeah.
I've learned it firsthand, and I got to deal with it just like everybody else has to. You get to a certain point where, and I get it because we're a small business. We have a small family business, like I said, down in South Texas, where we've always been 2 to 3 guys, and now we've expanded a little bit this year.
Sure.
But we've always been a small company, and of course, I look at price. I look at investments. That's how I look at it. And is spending this amount of money gonna help me and my company long term? And I hate to break it to the old guys, like it actually does. Like
For sure.
the life expectancy on these tools are great. The life expectancy on yourself will be better. And you mentioned earlier that the time saved. So that's another discussion that I've had a lot of is, does it really save you that much time? Is it really that much easier? I mean, yeah, right. If you, again, we're going to talk about battery powered stuff a lot here. If you have a battery powered tool and a platform that all works together, you're ready to go like almost every time, versus trying to look for an outlet, trying to look for a working outlet, trying to find one that nobody's using. Because I've been in kitchens where they have their little speakers plugged in and they have their phones charging, and it's like you're trying to steal a plug from them as well. So that's time consuming, and the pressing is, like you said, quicker and more efficient. And that's all stuff that I want to see going forward. And you guys that do that research and development with that, it is incredible. Do you guys actually have technicians that you work with or contractors? Do you guys go out there in the field? Like, how does that research and developmental stuff work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we spend a lot of time. I think it's one of the things that makes Milwaukee unique is that we do spend a really significant portion of the year. Me personally, I fly around to all over the country wherever we have good contacts, and we work really closely with our job site solutions team to find those people. And they're great partners to us. So we're able to shadow them on the job, and it's kind of our role at the company to be the voice of the user. So to learn what you guys do, understand the pain points, really experience those pain points and see how challenging it can be.
That's the only way you can learn.
Right. And then we kind of help interpret that to our engineering team, who really are, developing these solutions and using the technology that we've created to kind of push it across a whole bunch of different industries. But it's one of my favorite parts of the job is being able to meet really cool people, go experience all of these different trades and understand the challenges. And then it makes me so proud to be able to see how much better we can make it, right? Like talking to people like you, hearing the experiences of everyone about, I can do this now, or my business has grown this much because we're this much more productive, or even just, hey, I really like this. It's super cool.
It's just cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's really awesome, because blue collar workers in general will tell you how it is. Like they'll complain. they'll tell you everything wrong with that tool. Like that's always a great way, because I've talked to other guys, around the tour and the demos and everything. And I've been telling them that's the only way you can make a good product, because I deal with a lot of companies now, doing the social media stuff and the content creation. Sure. And, I can tell you, not all of them do this much research. And I'm pretty sure you guys are confident that you guys do, to the extent that you guys do, like that's heavy research, heavy trial and error testing. And I can tell you not all companies do that, because one thing I like to do is when I see a product, is it just for looks? Is it just for convenience? How is it going to do in the field? And that needs to be tested. And I'm sure you guys have like a testing period, because you can't just test it from one day to the next and put it out on market. So like I said, we're pretty honest, a lot of us in the field, because I've taken many products that look really nice. The the promise is there, and then once you get it in the field, it's not what it was supposed to be. It's not,
Yep.
making it more efficient. It's not doing what you want out of that tool. So I think a big part of it, which we saw a lot of during this tour, is just the research and testing, and down to the smallest things that you guys test. That has been incredible to see.
Absolutely. I mean, it always blows me away, even when I go on the tours and work with the engineering team and just see the thought process that goes into the testing plan. I mean, just building out, like, how are we going to test this? How are we going to replicate what you guys are doing every day? Make sure it can hold up to the rigors that it's going to see out in the field. And you're spot on when you say people tell us how it is, because we do. We take out products to the field, and the whole point is to get that, like, real raw feedback. We want people to tell us what doesn't work and what works.
And that's the same response I got from everybody here, is like,
Yep.
okay, we love hearing the good stuff, but we really want the bad stuff. We really
Absolutely.
want the constructive criticism. What's wrong with our equipment? Tell us, so we can take that feedback. And I can tell you, some companies don't take that feedback very well.
Sure.
I do a lot of it myself, testing, and because I actually buy all this stuff, and I buy it several times over for our employees, and if I like it or it's good enough for me, then that's when I buy it for them. I don't want to give them something that doesn't work either. So when I see tools out there or equipment out there, and I'm like, what were they thinking, or who was testing this? That's always a big pain, and it just gets really annoying. But stepping into you all's facility, I'm blown away by the amount of testing that you guys do.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I mean, they have all sorts of really cool equipment, unique things that we're doing, things that only Milwaukee does,
Sure.
like you said. And I think that's just trial and error. We've been building tools for a really long time. I think that's where, when we do get into some industries, and we do go after some specific trades, we have that really deep knowledge of building tools, and especially building cordless tools. That's one of our core competencies, and how we kind of approach everything, from testing, our research, and even getting this out to you guys. We know that this event is really important, and being able to show you and give you confidence in what we're doing, that it's going to be worth the money that you're spending on it, and that it is going to last you the amount of time that you need it. So.
Yeah, and as a buddy of mine would say, he's throw it off a roof. He loves to test vigorously when he gets something, and I think he did a test with pack out boxes and competitors, and the pack out one.
Okay.
A lot of the time, like all the other ones, the screws went everywhere. So that was a cool test. But I can also tell you that. So going back to cool tools or convenient tools, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
So when we got into press tools, we were shopping around, and funny enough, my dad is old school. I'm the one that's trying to bring the new technology to everything.
Yeah.
I got him into Milwaukee, I will say. He loved the M12 lineup for a lot of the tools, a lot of the impacts. So slowly but surely, he gave up that other brand that he had, and he is full blown on Milwaukee. So that was cool to see. And he was actually the one that was excited for pressing. Like I had looked into it, but I'm always like skeptical, so I always want to do my research. But my dad was like right on board. He's like, "Hey, that's really cool. You should try that." And again, going back to the time, we do a lot of we do installs. So, my work pertains to light commercial, so RTUs, rooftop units, package units. We don't have to do a lot of brazing or pressing for that, but I do refrigeration equipment.
Okay.
Where we're running line sets, custom boxes. I mean, you name it. So when we got that press tool, when I first did it, he was there. He just like looked at it. His jaw was down. He's like, wow. He's like, that was quick. He's like, you got it done. And I'm usually the one that does everything. So we're a small business. That's something else you have to take into consideration, is someone like myself, if we do a walk-in box install, I'm most likely doing all the hard parts, the brazing or the pressing now, the wiring, and then the commission, like starting it up and making sure it works.
For sure.
So if I can make one of those quicker, I mean, I 100% would do that. So we now have that in place where we press our line sets together, which is not that many connections, and I can get on to like actually getting the system up and running. I can get home at a decent time, right? That's what it's all about. My family time, my off time, and not working, because I did it so many times till midnight or later or weekends or anything like that. So that's been big for me.
Yeah. No, I love to hear it. I mean, I think that's obviously important. I think Milwaukee's kind of like a big family too. But yeah, we love to hear that. I love hearing stories too about people being able to spend more time with their family and just get off the job sooner. You know, we love the trades. We know that it's important that people get out there and do that work, but also you gotta have a life, you know, and you gotta
have a life. I think that I want everybody, because I've been harping on that a lot lately, is like, well, you work so much, you do so much for whatever industry you're in. You can't let it bleed into your family time, your off time, you need that for yourself, your mental, all that, that you should be taken care of, really. And we work to live, we don't live to work. And I just want everybody to understand that. So my advice always is it worth it to you for, not only the cost, I get it. The cost is the cost. Like, there's no way around it, but does that cost help you get home at a decent time, help you not work weekends, help you get those jobs done quicker? Cut labor costs, like we mentioned earlier, with fire watches or longer hours, right? So cutting costs that way is a big deal. But that's always been my point, is I don't want work to be anything and everything that I do. It's what I do for a living. It's how I make my money. It's how I put food on the table. But I want to be home for that food on the table at the end of the day.
Yeah. You want to enjoy the things that you provide. So absolutely.
So really quick.
You
specifically, you said you were working on that recovery project, recovery machine that we should see next year, right?
Yep. It's going to be ready in Q1 of 2026.
You don't know how many times they get asked, when is it coming out? Because I showed it off at the AHR Expo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that was a while back. So it's been a long time coming, but it's almost here.
It is. We're getting ready for that season. We know when you guys are getting ready.
You guys say that, but I live in Texas. I do AC almost all year round.
Yeah, true.
So I only asked because you guys did the vacuum pump recovery machine, like basically back to back.
Yeah.
So are you guys honing in on the HVAC industry? Are you guys looking to do more stuff with that trade? And is there anything being tested right now, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. So HVAC is a priority. So
okay,
I mean,
cool. Good to know.
Yep. So that's what my job is really kind of identifying those needs and the pain points that we find out in the field. And the two big ones that we saw right away, back pump recovery machine, obviously. But we're looking at everything. We're looking at the whole workflow of installing everything from, split systems, regular,
or mini
splits, all sorts of stuff, VRF, like more industrial equipment. So we are looking at that. We're looking at all sorts of stuff. I can't really share.
So there should be some more HVAC equipment being tested here.
Yes.
So yeah, that was gonna be my point. Is like mini splits is a big thing now.
Yeah.
And fortunately or unfortunately, however you view mini splits, it's a big part of the industry right now. And what comes with that is flaring, right? So what I was trying to tell, the guys that I saw demoing the recovery and kind of talking to them about it, I was like, there's not really a whole lot in that space that offers battery powered tools, right? We need flaring tools. There is maybe one brand that does these kinds of tools, right? Flaring tools, tube expanders, because I hate buying couplings. So that's another one big for me.
Yeah.
Big pain point is, coupling. So I would rather tube expand, and a battery powered one, I can tell you, is just, it makes way more sense. So
absolutely.
There's that. There's tubing benders, right? So we bend And that goes hand in hand with the
Sure.
tube expanding, right? So we run line sets, and you want the least amount of leak points as possible. So you want
Right.
that pipe to be one solid piece as far as you can get it. So your every HVAC tech should have some sort of bender and tube expander. So I hope to kind of see that later down the line here, and
Yeah.
not have to worry about what battery I'm reaching for at the end of the day. So
Yep. Absolutely.
there's so much. I mean, I know you guys probably have a lot in development, but there's so many pain points that the HVAC industry sees, and
Yeah.
it's cool to finally see them being solved, one by one, because like you said, those two, that's like a tag team right there, right? You need the
Absolutely.
vacuum pump, but you need that recovery to go with it. Or
Yep.
if not, you're running that cord for one, so why not run it for both? So, if you can have the pair, that'd be great. And then that's just my 2 cents.
No.
Those other battery
Yeah.
powered solutions, I hope those come.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like you said, you're the user. That's who we're talking to. Those solutions are great ideas, and we're definitely looking at it.
I will say, because my viewers have asked, like they want the work, so they want like digital gauges or probes or something crazy.
For
So
sure.
there's some guys that bleed red out there, so
Yeah.
the team red. So that's always what they're hopeful for. But
Yeah.
like I said, I think there's and I'm sure there's a plan, but there's like a progression there, and it's cool to see, because even seeing that conduit bender
Yeah.
was really interesting, and it just reminded me of copper bending, right?
Absolutely.
So I hope that kind of lines up with that.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that people are excited that we're moving into this industry. It's a new one for us, but we're really excited about it. And we've always kind of wanted to move in this direction, especially being so close to plumbing. And it's just we're in an
Right,
adjacent
right there.
category.
Yeah.
So excited to be focusing on it. I'm excited to be researching all this stuff because, like you said, there's a lot of solutions to be had, and it sounds like we need to
There's
work
not
faster.
there's yes, there's space there for improvement across the board.
Yeah.
And I've been, because I started with, like I said, almost 20 years ago, where the industry was, I didn't think all this was possible.
Yep.
And there was no solutions back then or like these tools that we see now. So it's exciting to see the progression. Like I said, even my dad gets excited for these tools now, and we've been on board. So I like to see where it's heading, and what you guys can do for us in the HVAC space. And I would love to see an HVAC banner up in here somewhere.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna have to get one up here next time. So. Yep.
But yeah, thanks again, Riley, for taking the time to kind of explain everything HVAC going on here. I think it was a really great conversation, and I learned a lot. Excited to see what comes out, and thanks again.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Adrian. And it was nice to meet you, and we'll see what's coming. So,
All right, man.
cool. Thanks.